All right, shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson today, I want to give all praises, all glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Also, I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well. And as always, peace, love, and many blessings unto the elect of Israel, starting with the 144,000, the 1/3, the peaceable multitude scattered around the four corners of the earth. Unto you I say shalom. All right, this is the brother Itazawan from the GMSAtlantaDevout-Servants, back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai with another lesson. Lord willing, I do hope and pray that it's edifying. All right. This is going to be a lesson of comforting and exhorting the body, as you brothers and sisters probably can feel, the spiritual flames increasing within your walk. Okay, there's a lot more manifestation of satanic energies, trying to throw you off kilter, trying to throw you off your pivot. Okay, Satan is trying to attack brothers and sisters physically. Okay. Or is attacking brothers and sisters physically. Okay. There's been a lot of, bros that, been going to the hospital, or close relatives, sicknesses and, your close relatives, in danger. And, this is all a part of the trials and tribulations that we are going to suffer as we're entering into the kingdom. Okay. The Lord warned us that we'll suffer. Okay, we'll go through a lot of different things, to try our faith, and we see it and feel it happening. And it's best to have spiritual comprehension, okay, and understand, the why. Okay, the why is very important. Okay, the why is very important, and that is. A lot of people don't have the answer to the why. We do. Okay. That's why we revert to the scriptures, and we go into the scriptures, which is a spiritual treasure box full of healings and ointments and anointments. Okay. And we go into this spiritual treasure box, being the holy scriptures, and we pull different remedies from the scriptures to help comfort whatever may be hurting. Okay, we're experiencing, the flesh, and we're going through the different hurdles to try to overcome this thing. And you're going to be bombarded with a barrage of different emotions and feelings. Your spirit is going to be pulled in a lot of different directions. Okay, while you're being tempted, but it's important to have spiritual comprehension and be rooted in faith. Okay, so therefore you won't be tossed to and fro, and you won't make rash decisions or say rash things with your mouth that can put you in harm's way. Okay, because a lot of judgment is coming down the line, and we want to make sure that we keeping ourselves pure and unspotted, man. But nonetheless, let me get a couple of scriptures before I continue to exhort, the flock. This is First Maccabees 12:9. Therefore, we also, albeit we need none of these things, that we have the holy books of Scripture in our hands to comfort us. It's the most important thing right there, bros. We got the scriptures, man, and we don't have the Christian outlook. We don't have the bugged out breakdowns that these people have. We actually have the true knowledge of what's really contained in the Bible. And it has the power to comfort you in moments of, temptations, man. The scriptures will never let you down if you follow them. Okay. So I know that, like I said, I know that it's been a heavy last couple of weeks for bros, and, a lot of things been happening. Satan trying to attack brothers' households, trying to attack brothers' minds. Demons jumping on and off of family members, and, all kind of shit is happening. But guess what? At the end of the day, we still got the scriptures, and we have to learn to come to reality and grips with the fact that this is what it is. Okay, this is just what it is. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick in the book of Acts chapter 14. Which this is a classic scripture that the apostles and brothers, used to bring out. It's Acts 14 and 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. And that's ultimately what I'm doing right now, or attempting to do in the spirit, is exhort brothers to continue in the faith. There's nothing left out here. Okay? America's depleted. Gas prices are ridiculous. Food prices are ridiculous. The cost of living is ridiculous. Okay? These women, ridiculous. Okay? There's no true value here. There's no true worth in America. So it's best to just stay in the faith. This is what's growing. This is what's accumulating and appreciating. Okay? And we already have that. So just continue in the faith. As we're being tried and tested, we're becoming a better lump. Okay? It says, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So a lot of things happening, man. Like I said, we're a part of various, we're in communication with each other, the bros. We're in communication. And a lot of bros are just going through it. Okay? A lot of us are going through it, man. And we have to know, we have to have spiritual comprehension and know that this is what the scriptures is talking about. Okay? And you got to learn to live with that. Okay? I can't remember who said it. But you gotta be good at catching hell. Okay? You have to be good at it, man. You have to, matter of fact, I'm gonna let Job say it. I'm gonna let Job say it better than me. I believe it was in, let me see. Bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to find this one scripture. I don't want to spoil it. So Baba Kushah. Okay, here we go. It says, Job 15 and 16. It says, behold, I'm going to read 15. Behold, he putteth no trust in his saints. Yea, the heavens are not clean in his sight. How much more abominable and filthy man which drinketh iniquity like water. Okay. Let me see. Is that the one? I don't think that's it. Salakia. Well, you know what? I'll just keep reading. It says, I will show thee, hear me, and that which I have seen I will declare, which wise men have told from their fathers and have not hid, unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. So yeah, man, I was looking for a scripture where, Job was pretty much speaking about, how he basically just, endures his afflictions and temptations. Okay. But that wasn't the scripture. But, it's important to understand that you just got to go through it, man. You just got to deal with it. I did a lesson a few years back, maybe a year or two, and it was entitled, you got to learn to sit still in that fire. Okay. The Lord got us, man. The Lord is going to take care of us, man. The Lord's going to take care of the obedient ones in our family, the ones who actually, listen. And that's another thing too, man. A lot of judgment is coming down on people just because they're not listening, not following the spirit. It's being willful, being proud. Okay. Rebellious. These things are going to lead people to their demise. And you have to, you got to learn to come to grips with that. Okay? That's the times that we living in, man. A lot of people are self-willed. A lot of people are conceited. A lot of people think that they know everything. And it's going to lead to their own downfall, their own demise. And you can't blame yourself, man. Okay? We didn't try to talk these people off the ledge. We didn't try to help these people And say most of these people need to be saved from their goddamn self. Okay? But of course what they do is they try to gaslight you into being the blame. But in all actuality, they the ones that's following after Satan. And you have to just see it for what it is, man. Yahweh Bashim Shai is getting ready to fix this earth. And those people who don't want to be fixed on this go around, they're going to get judged. Okay? So we always have to remember to revert to the scriptures, because the scriptures is what gives us that comfort, man. It gives us that relief. For Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. This is what we learn from. Okay? When you hear brothers doing these beautiful videos, the apostles and bishops and elders doing these great videos, and they're breaking down, you know, the prophecies, and they're breaking down the different writings of the prophets, going into the Greek, going into the Hebrew, going into the different lexicons, going into the Edom Online dictionary, just looking things up, going into, you know, all sorts of information. Okay, this is all for our learning. The things that I've learned in this truth for the amount of time that I've been on, you know, nothing compares. You know, and I've learned a lot of things, man. You know, of course, we went to school, you know, and we learned different subjects, and, you know, you learn things from different walks of life, but nothing can compare to what I've learned out of this Bible. There's not a single book on this planet Earth that rivals these scriptures as far as learning and wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So it's written for our learning. It says that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. That's important. Now that we've learned these things, now as we're being tried, okay, we'll what? We'll have hope. We'll believe. We'll know. We'll be able to source what's happening to us. We'll be able to go to a reference point in the scriptures to identify how we feel, and to cope with it. A lot of people don't have that resource. They don't have that lifeline, but we do. Okay? We have these scriptures, so it gives us understanding to draw conclusions that we need. Or like I mentioned earlier, in other words, it answers the why. Okay? Jake can tell you we went into slavery. You know, they know the who. They know the what. They know the when. They know the where. But what? They don't know why. Most people couldn't tell you why. But we have the why, man. And that's what it says. We have through the comfort of the scriptures, we might have hope. Okay? So we know for a fact, you know, that we're going to be dealt with accordingly for the purpose of faith being established in the earth. Okay? Let me get another scripture. What I was looking for. All right, 1 Peter 1:7. I'm going to start at 6. It says, wherein ye greatly rejoice, through now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith, okay, everybody has their own personal trial of faith, okay? The Lord may want to extract certain fruits of the Spirit from you, so he puts you in a situation to extract that fruit. Same as somebody that's going through something might be a little bit more challenging or a little bit more difficult. You know, the Lord is taking this person through something to extract, you know, a higher form of fruit of the Spirit. Okay? So this is the trial of our faith, man. Our faith is on trial. The Lord is seeing if we truly believe. So he's commissioning the angels to do things in our life to challenge whether we're going to continue in the faith or whether we're going to respond like niggas. Okay? It says, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Hamashiach Yahushua. So the faith that we have that's being perfected and polished, once we get to a certain level, when Hamashiach Yahushua returns, he'll look upon that faith and he'll be, proud and happy that you maintained that faith. And in return, he's going to deliver the elect. So just know that these temptations are temporary. Okay? They're not forever, man. It's just a moment of time in this captivity that the Lord is using to examine you. So if you always go back to the spiritual treasure chest and pull out those different nuggets that you need to comfort you, you'll be able to endure your trial of faith. You'll continue to build up your portfolio. So, yeah, I know the times is hard. I know a lot of things is getting annoying. I know you're looking at certain people and you're like, yo, what the fuck, man? What is going on with this person? But this is all the Lord's doing, man. This is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai trying his best, to increase your belief in him. So that's why it's important to have, like I mentioned earlier, to have spiritual understanding. You got to know what's going on, man. And that's been given to the man. The woman should follow the man. The woman should shut her mouth and follow the man. Because the man is the one who's leading. And he's been given the spiritual foresight to understand what's happening. These women try to compete and be on the level with these men and end up bugging out. Okay? There's a place for everybody, man. Everybody's not a prophet. That's why you have a 2/3, you have a 1/3. 2/3 can't play the role of a prophet. A false prophet can't play the role of a real prophet. And a real prophet can't play the role of a false prophet. Okay? Everybody has a lot. Everybody has a position. Everybody has a role. And most people out here in this world not playing their role. Everybody's out of order. The only ones who's trying to get in order is the elect. Okay? Matter of fact, let me get that since I mentioned it. Psalms 50:24. It says, "These things hast thou done, and I kept silence that thoughtest that I was altogether such a one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes." And that's what's happening. The elect is getting in order. The elect is reading these scriptures, and they're taking from these scriptures and applying it into their daily life. Opposed to most of these people, these hypocrites, okay, who be in church and act like they holier than thou, and even some of these Israelites, okay, acting like they on point, doing this and doing that. But as soon as it's time to show character, as soon as it's time to show obedience, and as soon as it's time to show order, most of these people show you that they really don't believe in what the scriptures say. Okay? So the elect is going to be the ones who's getting in order and moving and operating within that vibration, no matter what's happening. Okay? So, yeah, like I said, man, the Lord, got some of us going through infirmities and sicknesses, whether it's some of our parents, our children, okay, wives, whoever, is going through it, or the Lord is using, to, raise up the faith in you. You have to remember that we have the scriptures, man. Okay? We have the scriptures, and I can't stress that enough. Okay? It's important, man. Always go to the scriptures. Always reference these scriptures, man. Okay? This is 1 Thessalonians 4:18. Wherefore comfort one another with these words, quick, fast, and to the point. Okay? We need comfort, man, because these times that we're going through could break you. Okay? It can have you feeling very, uneasy, very uncomfortable, man. Death is coming back into the world in a big way. Mass death, should I say. You have family members who scoffed, talked shit, said things behind your back, or maybe said things about brothers behind their back, didn't adhere to counsel, don't listen, talk shit. These people are in jeopardy, man. Okay? Posting stuff, speaking about the word, speaking about the prophet, slandering. Okay? Like I said, you got certain relatives you might have told years ago or know what you about, and they won't say it around you, but they get around everybody else and say, he in a cult, he this, the Bible ain't real, they this, they that. These women talking shit, your woman talking shit, not listening. Man, the Lord is lining everything up. But you got to just understand, okay, what's happening. And like I said, man, the elect going to be straight. If you are the elect, the Lord is going to make a way for you. And he's going to protect and watch over your household. But if you have rebels in the household, the Lord's going to extract them out the household too. So, just remember the scriptures, man. That's all I had to say in this lesson. Remember the scriptures. Always go back to the scriptures. Always put your prayers up. Okay, pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for protection. Pray for guidance. Okay. Pray that he leads you in the safety and away from harm and danger. Keep you away from them evil, wicked, demonic spirits. Let the holy angels guide you in travel and sleep. Okay? Because things are about to intensify and worsen in ways that these people can't comprehend. So, Lord willing, that was an edifying lesson. I'm going to go ahead and close out, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakodash. Double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.